Taken prisoner. Do you realize what you're saying? You have to believe me. Wow. You have to believe me. I never intended for that to happen. And I'm sure the detective did not intend it either. Do you think? But there was nothing I could do.
See, nothing else. This was the first crime for the capo. He was at the end of his wits.
I have told you before, Peppino, that is not the way to describe a criminal mastermind.
What about this hideout of yours?
An old empty house behind the park on Lime Street.
We rented the place for 2 days. It was an inspired idea by the capo here.
An impulsive idea, I would say.
No, not impulsive, inspired, capo.
What am I supposed to say to that, Peppino? It was in the house described that you can find Inspector Gregson, was it? But you have to remember, I was under the impression that he was a pretender, not a real inspector. That doesn't quite add up, though. If you didn't think the man was a real inspector, there would have been no reason to take him prisoner, would there? No, you are right, but we couldn't be completely certain. And I didn't think it was detective, too scared to let him go that day, just in case. Too scared, why? Because, why had he come to the park? We didn't know. There was a chance that he had seen through my plan.
And if that was the case, he would go straight to the police station to blow a whistle on us. Even if he was just feigning to be an inspector, he was up to no good, without a doubt. I think most people would agree that it's you two who were up to no good. Started making trouble in my neighborhood. Well, I see, you may be right, capo?
The point is, we were not able to escape from England immediately. That is why we had no choice but to take the man prisoner. What I don't understand is why the inspector felt the need to show you his identification in the first place.
See, I ask myself the same question.
We were writing down the names and addresses for all the people who we took 5 shillings from that day. I've forgotten what name he said, but the address is started with me.
See, address of Scotland Yard, the homicide division, he said.
What? You probably didn't like your face, Peppino. Anyway, I was not rude. I just politely asked him why he said it. And that's when he started to say he was an inspector. Not long afterwards, he took out his identification. Who was Inspector Gregson playing at?
Tell the court what happened next. You took him back to your hideout, you say? See, we did that.
That being the identification book here, correct?
See, that is the one.
Led to believe that was a forgery.
I never seen the real one, of course, but he was so suspicious, this man. Allora, I was thinking it must be falso, capo?
Oui, it is just as Peppino had said. We were convinced it was not genuine.
And so together, the hilarious brothers, we took the man captive.
All we did was shove him inside a locked room. Then we made preparations to transport all of the money. In for a penny, in for a pound. So it might have been a little tussle. We didn't know how next morning to let him go. What do you mean by a little tussle exactly? Bath. It was nothing. Just a minor incident.
The Falso Inspector, he was a real piece of work, eh, capo?
What happened?
Uffa, it was a disaster. We give him a nice room, and what does he do, In the middle of the night, he tries to escape through a ventilador.
Can you blame him? We chased him, bien sir, and we caught him again.
Can you blame us?
Wait, you didn't shoot the man in your haste, did you? Zut! What do you think we are? Of course not! I simply caught hold of him again and took him back to the room.
Oh. Yeah, such a childlike voice. How old is he?
25.
25. Huh. Excuse me.
Mr. DeRosie, is something wrong?
Hi, me?
Something Mr. DeRosie just said that seemed to make you, well, it seemed to make you act even more strangely than usual. What was that all about?
Cavolo, at times like that, you don't want to have the capo after you, believe me. And I speak of my personal experience, yeah?
Personal experience? That is enough, Peppino. There's no need to say more.
The truth is, the night before we put on the Red of the League plan into action, I was scared. It was not fair to the capo, but I tried to run away.
It's a shame you didn't manage it.
But the capo here, he came after me like a like the turbine, huh? And he dragged me back to the house, kicking and screaming. I still have bruises to prove it, I capo.
Bruises, you say?
And you wanna see, huh? You wanna see my fantastical bruises?
That's enough now, Peppino. No one wants to look at any part of you.
What to do, huh? I assure you, or I don't. I assure you, or I don't. You do now. Allora, if everybody wants to see, then I do it. Ecco, see? It's still very visible, eh?
That red ring around your neck. You got that when you were dragged back to the house.
See, the capo, sometimes he's very rough, and...
I said that's enough. He's so proud of it, though.
Listen, they're into it. They're into it. It's like that character I was showing you yesterday from the game. She's definitely a sadist. Well, a masochist, actually.
Peppino's neck is nothing to do with what we are talking about here. You have my word.
It's actually real cute. I think you're gonna like her a lot. She's your type, 100%.
I don't think I'm into masochists.
She's fun. She's like really like she gets hurt and she's like, oh, do it again, and you're like, ah, this is a video game for children. But then you get her, and she's like, "Oh no! Oh my God! We gotta take you to the hospital. I hope you're okay. Please don't die." It's like, I just scraped my knee, girl. I'm okay. Oh, she's so great.
Shady's laughing.
Oh my gosh. Shady, do you want to talk about Rune Factory 5? It's so good.
Yes, what is your opinion, Counselor? But this red ring around Mr. DeRosie's neck. I wonder, does it matter?
Yeah, it's important.
Mr. DeRosie, I'm going to have to ask you to amend your testimony with details about that mark on your neck.
Aye, Capo, you see? Everyone's interested in what I say, huh?
Ugh. Very well, you will amend your testimony as requested, Mr. DeRosie.
See, if you really want to know. He tried to escape, but the capo put a collar on him and dragged him back. Like, what did he do to me? See?
Are you saying that red mark was caused by...
See, a big collar made from the leather.
a leather collar?
Oh. Curious,
curious leather collars?
No, this is the Hunters of the Baskervilles.
They said that collar was massive, though.
That's a big mark on that child. Sorry, that 25-year-old man.
25-year-old child.
25-year-old little person who I love and adore, and I wish he existed in real life so I could just sit on my lap while we're streaming.
I mean, I could cosplay as him, but I'm not tall enough.
Oh, my partner could definitely cosplay as him. Oh, that'd be great. Peppino, he's so
Kazuma.
cute. I'm sorry, I'm just gushing. He's so adorable. I hate it. Is it true, Mr. DeRusso?
What? We had a Saint Bernard at home when I was younger. It is a souvenir from that time. It was a very strong chain.
A strong chain?
And you put that around your friend's neck. I'm sorry. I was so angry that he was leaving me alone.
You did not have to tie the chain to the leg of a bed, though, huh? I would not try to run again.
You didn't do that to Inspector Gregson as well, did you?
Treat the people equally. Is the capo here's a motto, eh? It does it sometimes that those A's are not appropriate to where they go.
That's the funny part.
I mean, I guess so, but like I can speak with adding the A's when the A's make sense to add based on my knowledge of Italian. So when they're where they're not supposed to be, it throws me off, and I think that's why.
It's just comedic to have them everywhere that they're not supposed to be only.
No, it is actively. I understand, but that's why I keep stumbling because I'm like, oh, that word don't make no sense. That's not meant to
even
be pronounced.
Shady even just said peak comedy.
Peak comedy. Peak comedy.
Peak comedy.
I mean, commedia is how you would say comedy in Italian. So
peak
comedy. Picca commedia, it's oh my god, I'm doing it again. I had to voice in so much. It's starting to sound. It's starting to sound a lot more like a person all of a sudden. The capos are tough, but the capos are rough.
I shouldn't have done it. So, the following morning, when you released the inspector...
He had the red ring around his neck, just like me.
Peppino, s'il vous plaît, leave it alone now.
Now you know, huh? The capo here, you don't want to tangle with him. But for the inspector, it's not so bad.
took away the man's freedom. However comfortable you make it sound, you're still holding him prisoner.
If you say that, then I say this. There's something that takes away our freedom too, the lack of money. So we are the prisoners as well, huh? All of us.
Huh?
No money, no freedom. This is the truth. It makes me mad and it makes me sad. What can we do?
See, what
See,
can we do?
That extra A in can does not belong.
What can we do?
What can we do?
Well,
If you feel so disenfranchised, take money to court. Though it'll cost you, of course. There you have it. You see, that's why we need the League to fight for the justice.
perhaps he has a point. Perhaps he has a point.
No, Mr. Odo. All we did was to give the man a comfortable place for the night. And you say it was a prison, huh? Huh?
Perhaps he has a point again.
No, again, Mr. Naruto. You should have heard him snoring. But if anybody was disturbed, it was us.
That's much to go on, really.
Their testimony does make me wonder, you know. What about this pocket watch belonging to the inspector, I mean?
Yes, the one he treasured so much, apparently.
If he was confined but not restrained, as the witnesses are implying, he would still have been able to find his watch.
It's very true, yes. So Inspector Gregson actually died while he was being held captive by these redheads.
In which case, it is possible that these two young men are responsible for Inspector Gregson's?
To be honest, I find that hard to believe. Perhaps we should try to find out exactly what happened.
Very wise, Mr. Naruto, yes.
Okay, what do you think?
Bam, 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 bam. Okay. Let me see the stuff we got to present.
Oh, stuff we had to present?
Go back. Okay. Go back. Cool. Okay, keep going. No, to the next statement. Sorry.
Oh.
Uh-huh. Keep going. Keep going. Did you save?
Yeah.
Present the watch here.
Objection.
Nope.
When this last statement is clearly contradictory when you consider this piece of evidence here. Yes, undeniably. It's undeniable, Counsel, but I fail to see any contradiction here at all. I think perhaps that it itself is the contradiction. Indeed.
Rough.
Time for a rethink.
Well, I'm thinking. My logic is the whole thing that they said at the end about the pocket watch being relevant.
But would they literally just give you the answer?
They wouldn't, but what I'm trying to say is, like, they're saying that they kept him, but they didn't do anything rough. They just kept him locked in a room. So it does bring up the contradiction. I forget the terminology that the game uses. The contradiction would fall on the watch because he winds it up every day. Like, in what circumstance would he have had access to but not have winded up his watch? You know?
That's not really a clear contradiction of anything, though.
Oh, it's not? Okay. So let's go back to the first statement.
That's just
then.
conjecture.
I guess so.
Do you want a hint?
Sure.
We did get a new statement out of it when we were pressing one of the things.
Oh, it's probably around the time that you asked me if I was distracted, and I was. For reference, I'm not distracted. But so what was the statement that was added? Yeah, that's where I presented the watch, didn't I?
You presented it here.
Oh, my bad. Go back. Okay, then let me see the stuff. And specifically, I want to see the picture of Gregson's dead body.
This?
I mean, I don't know. You can't. I would say that because you can't see the red mark on his neck.
This photograph?
Yeah.
Objection.
It's the day
See, I'm
before.
good at the game.
When you're paying attention, yeah?
But I'm paying attention.
It's the day before his body was discovered. Inspector Gregson was taken prisoner while working incognito. No, none. It was not like that. It was hardly a prison. It was an invitation to stay. It was only. However you describe it, there's one glaring inconsistency that remains. What consistency is this, counsel? I would ask the court to look closely at this photograph of the victim, Inspector Gregson. You will see there's no red ring visible around his neck.
But that makes no sense. It was me who took the color of the man in the morning, and I saw the red bruise on his neck, just like I have.
Given that the mark is still clearly visible on this witness's neck, we'd expect to see bruising in the victim who was put in the collar more recently than Mr. De Rossi. Indeed, that is most peculiar.
But what we tell you, huh? We say this from the beginning. Many times, Jorge.
Peppino is right. The man in the photograph. He is someone different to the man we held captives that night.
That night.
Order!
It would appear then that on the day before the incident, the man who visited Park on Lime Street posing as an incognito inspector was not Inspector Gregson at all.
If that's true, however, how do you explain the inspector's identification? This is a genuine identification book issued by Scotland Yard. It's inconceivable that someone could have stolen such an important item from the inspector. The prosecution made that assertion itself.
Ugh. And we also know that the inspector had made a note about the Red-Headed Leagues in his diary for that day, which surely means we can't divorce the two events completely. Divorce hasn't been invented yet. Canon.
The inconsistency noted by the defense is most troubling. If it were the real Inspector Gregson whom these two red-headed gentlemen encountered, the fact that no bruising can be seen around his neck defies explanation.
But equally, if they actually encountered a prisoner, how did that person come to be in possession of the real inspector's identification?
The defense have some plausible explanation, counsel. The whole thing defies explanation.
It is for precisely this occasion that we must keep meticulous notes in the court record, Mr. Naruto. Because those are the facts, and the facts cannot lie.
No, the facts can't lie. Even when they point to something so incredible it's almost unbelievable. Well, my lord, the true identity of the person who turned up in the park for the Red-Headed League's enrollment is revealed by information in the court record, I believe. Well, gracious!
Very tantalizing, Mr. Naruto. So why don't you keep us all? Why don't you help us all see whatever truth is that you're apparently seeing? Who exactly was this inspector that appeared before Mr. DeRusso and Mr. DeRossi? It's an imposter.
Imposter?
I think so.
It's the imposter.
No!
This seems incredible, I admit. The undeniable facts point to only one thing. Since no bruising could be seen on the victim's neck, the person who these two red-headed men took prisoner that day cannot have been Inspector Gregson. Shady said kinda sus.
No. Ugh. In other words, your whole argument up to now has been a waste of time.
On the contrary, I haven't finished.
What?
There's no bruising on the victim's neck, so the question immediately posed next is, who exactly was this man in the park on Lime Street found to be carrying Inspector Gregson's identification?
See, that's right. We tell the same story every time. Whoever this man was, the cop dragged him from a pillar to a post with a dog collar.
Mon Dieu, Peppino, I was not so harsh as you say, huh?
So who was the false inspector, eh? Who was he? Clearly the defense has an idea about that. But the true identity of the man these two imprisoned that night.
Sex counsel for the defense to elaborate post-haste. Who did the witnesses encounter in the park, posing Inspector Gregson?
Next page.
Oh,
I know. You don't have to worry about it.
Oh, you know?
I'm very confident. Yeah. Keep going. Oh, wait, go back. Mr. Daily Vigil.
Daily Vigil?
Yeah.
Take that!
Surely no secret. This is the identity of the imposter.
Oh, really? On what grounds?
Well, I said it was no secret, but that part is.
Oh, what?
Dear me, if a penalty is in order, it's now, I feel. You're very
Am I
confident,
just
huh?
Am I just thinking that too far ahead?
I don't know how you'd prove that it was him.
I guess so. Like the punishment, the capo can lend his collar to you if you want, huh? Perhaps our little friend needs to experience what it feels like to be dragged around the streets by the neck.
I'll use my imagination, thanks.
Wow, Kazuma, he's your friend. Don't be a jerk. Well, Mr. Naruto, the red ring produced by the collar is clearly the crux of the matter here.
Yes, the bruising around the neck. Was that the counsel for the defense to elaborate post-haste? Who did the witness? Okay, it's all really loud.
Bam, bam. Bam, bam. It's one of those things where I'm thinking too far ahead. Yes. Go back. Keep going.
Do you need help?
I guess so, because like
They
it's one of those
they
things.
literally said it has to do with the bruising.
Well, yeah, but like I don't remember any character that showed bruising before.
Oh no, you weren't paying attention.
No, what like are you talking about today or last stream?
Last stream.
Because a lot has happened since last stream.
4 days
don't-
ago?
Yeah, I don't. Like, there's been a lot. Like the game came out. Like my entire brain has been like lore stuffed with an entire new universe of plot and life.
Well, I
yeah,
mean, you
so,
could
like,
also
I'm sure
you also can tell by looking at the characters. So.
there's a character with like a red ring around their neck. Go to gossip, I guess. Yeah, he has one. Go ahead.
Take that!
Goodness me, isn't that one of the witnesses who was in the stand this very courtroom earlier today? A nameless man whose only occupation appears to be peddling hearsay to passers-by.
Objection!
What on earth would the street seller be doing with the police identification? Witnesses, is this the man or not?
What has happened to his lip? Ah,
See, this is a man, is not for the Red Dead League. Twisted Lip League, no. Perhaps, rather than making such a rash claim next time, you should bite your lip instead.
seems improbable, yes. But one undeniable fact remains. During his testimony earlier, I noted something around the man's neck. A red ring of bruising. Eh? You missed a what?
What?
The defense demands that Mr. Gossip be brought back to the stand.
Order, bailiff. Bring the aforementioned witness back into the courtroom immediately.
They're so proud.
Well, I never. Would you not be?
I guess so.
An undeniable ring of bruising indeed, and identical to that of the witness beside him. What's going on here, eh? I've always held this, me. It's a birthmark, isn't it?
A birthmark, you say?
I assume the reason you've been recalled to the stand has been explained to you, no?
I'm some bad inspector again. But I'm telling you, you got it all wrong as usual.
You're denying all knowledge of it.
Of course I am. Are you trying to kill me with this nonsense, eh?
Well, at least you have more stories to peddle back on Fresno Street, won't you? Now, we're going to need you to testify again.
Indeed, Mr. De Rozo and Mr. De Rossi. I'm sure you'll cooperate, won't you? Do we have any choice?
We're in a big trouble, eh, Capo?
It's quite enough dilatory chatter. Proceed with the testimony.
The man who claimed to be an inspector that day was definitely not this man.
It's right to see. You think we would have forgotten these grand lips, huh?
I never leave Fresno Street, alright? I'm no interested in a red-headed league. I'm all alone in the world, me. I've no kinfolk or nothing. Why would I be involved in something like that? Just look at me, eh? Does it look like I could carry off a disguise with a face like this?
You're not wrong.
That's a face not even a mother could disguise.
It would certainly appear that we have the wrong man.
What have I been telling you, huh? There is no need for this pointless testimony. Ugh.
That's right, I'm just a simple peddler, remember? Fresno Street's all I know. How would I have come by a police inspector's identification book, eh?
Well, yes, that's hard to explain, but...
A brief cross-examination, I think, counsel. Very brief.
Ugh. Isn't there anyone in this courtroom who thinks I might be onto something?
I stand steadfastly at your side as always, Mr. Naruhodo.
Kazuma's just like, nope.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
This man claimed to be inspector that day, definitely not this man. So you say, but how can you be quite so certain? There's no need to hurt your hands on the desk, monsieur. Surely there isn't as obvious, none? Because I've never seen lips like this. Nevertheless, there's a clear mark around Mr. Gossip's neck. And it looks very much like that left behind on the neck of your colleague by a prized collar. Mondo, with your words, it is like you tried to wring my neck.
It doesn't look very much like a neck, though, AI.
No, this is a birthmark, lad. The biggest lips in London and neck to die for. Aye, they broke the mold when they made me. It was the first time in my life. I feel lucky to have been born with red hair. I thought being Japanese made you stand out in London.
So you maintain that you've never seen this man before?
Oui, c'est ça. I swear to it by the flames on my hair. Sophia's pride has outgrown the frustration with your hair now, has it?
Hold it!
Well, yes, I don't imagine I'll forget those lips in a hurry either.
Fan fiction writers are taking notes. Oh, you know, that is what I am saying. For some reason, it makes me want to eat, how did Fabian call it? An eclair.
I could go for an eclair.
I could also go for a lightning strike. That's eclair also means lightning in French.
Oh, is that why they use electricity to make it?
No, but that's why it's a swirl with the yellow in the center. It's like a cloud with the lightning inside of it.
What's the chocolate on top?
They don't have to be chocolate covered.
Not chocolate covered, they have like a streak of chocolate.
They don't have to.
Yeah,
Maybe
they do.
where you get them from, but they're usually powdered to like indicate the cloud. Now we're both just frantically Googling eclair to see who's right first.
I'm not seeing any without chocolate on them. In fact, even the Wikipedia article, an eclair is a pastry made with show dough filled with a cream and topped with flavored icing.
I'm thinking of a completely different recipe, a completely different like dessert. That said, though, I did find eclairs without chocolate on them, so they do exist. But I was, to be fair, I was completely thinking of the wrong dessert.
I know eclairs. It's like one of my favorite desserts of all time.
I know of the other dessert that I was incorrectly assuming to be an eclair, and I have had eclairs before, but like I wouldn't say they're my favorite.
One of my favorites.
What's your favorite dessert? Go.
Mine?
Yeah.
Eclairs? I don't know.
You said it was one
I don't
of the
know.
two.
I can't pick a favorite.
I can tell you
Dessert's like the best part of life.
I know, right? I can tell you my top three. My top three are, in order, peanut butter pie is my favorite dessert of all time. It's great. I love it. It's very versatile. Second is key lime pie. Love it. Great. Versatile. Tasty, tasty. My third favorite dessert is plain vanilla ice cream.
I might be able to narrow it down to a top 200, but not in any particular order.
I just gave you my top three empirically. It cannot be matched. It cannot be beat. Peanut butter pie any day of the week.
2 out of 3 of those would make my top 200.
I'm assuming key lime pie is probably not on that list.
Key lime pie is delicious.
Oh, okay. Key lime pie is like very divisive. Oh, I'm getting a phone call in a second. I'm so sorry.
Well, you guys, what are your favorite desserts? Oh, are you gonna... Phone call? Okay, I think he's in a phone call. But yeah, just as a reminder, the rest of this stream schedule, or this week's schedule, Tuesday is the only other stream this week, and that will be Splatoon 2 at 8 p.m. We're not done yet, but chocolate cheesecake is yours, Shady? That's up there. Though I love all cheesecakes, to be honest. Cheesecake's just really good. But Yeah, and as for Great Eastern, after today's, the next one is going to be normal next week on Monday, so it'll be 8 days away. But, yeah, I think he's coming back. You back? Hello?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm back. My brother calls me when he gets off of work because he doesn't like driving alone.
Yeah.
But I told him to call somebody else.
Well,
Hopefully nothing tragic happens, and then I'll forever blame you for the course of events that led to that happening.
no, blame Shady. He said his favorite is chocolate cheesecake.
Chocolate cheesecake is delicious.
It is. I told him that I love all cheesecake, though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would say chocolate cheesecake in general would be like my fourth favorite, and then like desserts with mint in it. It would be my fifth.
Okay, that doesn't even make my top 5,000 mint.
I
No.
love mint. I love mint. Put it in everything.
Mint
was
tastes like
telling-
toothpaste to me, and then
It
it
is.
feels weird
It's
swallowing it.
I love toothpaste.
It makes me want to spit out the mint because that's my instinct.
I was telling Outcry the other day that I want to make ginger pie, like just ginger.
Somebody
It'd be so good.
in the streaming group I'm in, the Digital Bonfire, really is obsessed with wanting to make water pie. So
Oh, that's a thing. Yeah.
yeah, it is a thing.
We could have made it when we last hung out. We should make it.
I'd
next time we
rather
hang out.
not. I heard it's pretty bad.
We can make it taste good. It's okay. We'll figure it out. But the store that we went to get the stuff for the mochi had all the stuff to make the water pie.
I'm not sure I'd really want water pie.
It'd be great. We can put like lime juice in it.
It's not water
like-
pie then.
Well, yeah, but it's like inspired by water pie. But it would.
Inspired
we
by
could
water
do-
pie, but actually good.
We could use like a white strawberry
I mean,
juice.
if we're going with Great Depression recipes, red velvet cake is way better. Like,
I mean, yeah, but like I'm not. You cannot pay me to make red velvet from scratch. Ugh, it's the worst.
I wouldn't ask you to make it from scratch, but I like it from not scratch.
Yeah, like pre-prepared, like all the chemicals already in it. You know, like that's fine. But like, if I try to make red velvet from scratch, it's just gonna be. Just gonna be an earthy chocolate cake. It's not gonna be red velvet at all.
It's not even
Like,
gonna taste like beets.
I mean, it's gonna taste like beets and nothing else. Like it's not gonna look like red velvet. It's just gonna look like a brown chocolate like mud pie, and that's
Well,
it.
not much can beat that. And with that pun, we should continue the game.
You know, I never seen a hair like yours before either.
Likewise, I've never seen red hair like yours until I came to Britain.
See, maybe it's a nationality trait, huh? Maybe other people in this man's country have a grand lips.
No, lad, I was born right here on Fresno Street,
I was
and
gonna
I've never
say.
left.
I thought it was clear that he was from Fresno Street. Oofa, that isn't the problem, see?
He definitely didn't go to the park on Lime Street that day, Mr. Gossip. How many times do you want me to say it, eh? I'm really Fresno Street, right? No interest in Redhead Lake.
Could you welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's episode, we will see if you can survive living on Fresno Street.
So you'd heard of the Redhead League, had you? You don't get a name like Gossip for nothing, eh? My business knows what's
Listen.
going off in town.
I'm sure the two people who are watching the VODs that enjoy that joke are subscribing because of that.
I hope so.
Number 3, Burger King foot lettuce. Sorry.
I sold that tasty tidbit to a fair few redheads that came past me. Just so he knows, I even got sandwich to cough up for it.
Well, he does have a very red nose, if that counts.
Who knows?
Maybe he was a redhead before he went gray.
Well, as you can see, my own hair has not got a hint of red in it. But Beppo is Italian. Italians don't have red hair.
No comment.
In any case, Fresno Street's my patch.
Okay, I have to comment. Literally, Peppino's right there.
I'm saying I'm calling him out. I'm saying he's not a real Italian.
Oh no.
Don't catch me saddling off to some other part of town. No, sir, not likely.
Excuse me.
Excuse me.
Mr. De Rousseau. Ugh. Oui. Can I help you? Did Mr. Gossip's words just now lead you to remember something relevant, perhaps? It was the other day when I was looking for a place near the park, a small house or something. I wish I could do that with my glasses. Kazuma?
My glasses have a tiny little hole there that I could theoretically, if I had little baby fingers.
But I mean, not just the twirl, but the way he like puts them on through the twirl.
Oh yeah.
Twirl, twirl, twirl. Chink.
To the headquarters of your Red-Headed League, yes? Oh, you know what you could do? You can implant metal studs in your nose and then have your glasses be magnetized. That'd be pretty dope.
I'm not having surgery just to
That'd be pretty dope.
for a
Like,
party trick.
I would do that. I think I would do that. Because you put the metal in your nose, not the magnet. So, like, it wouldn't, like, mess up with anything.
I visited an housing agent on Lime Street, and there I saw him. This man was paying money to the agent.
What?
Mr. Gossip, with a housing agent? Oui. He had some kind of contract in his hand, and they were clearly discussing terms.
But no, you're mistaken, chum. I've never left Fresno Street, me. Like I said before. You've mistaken me for someone else. Someone with the same face.
No, the capo is right. I remember a tattoo. He was paying the man with the banknote. With notes.
But like I said, that wasn't me.
I was curious why this man with the dirty nose had so much money. So I look up the name on the papers.
And what name was written? Mr. Gossip?
No, he's a man. He lies. He tells you that he has no name. But in fact, his name is Hugh Boone, huh? Better than Mr. Gossip, I think, see?
No! I'm a peddler of tidbits of information, like I said, on Fresno Street, and that's that. I don't much like folk talking about my personal life. Indeed. It is not the intention of the court to invade the privacy of witnesses. Very well, I shall respect your wishes, sir. The aforementioned names shall be redacted from all court records of this trial, assuming no objections.
Objection.
Yeah, objection.
Assuming no objections. Objection!
Yeah.
Sorry, my lord, but the defense does object. Because the name just mentioned has very deep significance to this case.
Good gracious, do you similarly object, Professor?
Let's say I'm glad they brought that up. Because, like, I'm like, yeah. Yeah, that particular name has already been brought up. Oh, sorry. As it happens, my lord, that particular name has already been brought up. As mentioned during this trial's proceeding.
Well, never. In what capacity? My God, Judge.
Hugh Boone. The name of the leaseholder of the room.
Let me put this very simply. The victim's body was discovered in your rented room.
I suggest, sir, that you start talking.
Well, alright. I suppose that might be the case.
So your real name is Hugh Boone.
Well, just because I don't like to blow my own trumpet, but there's no finer peddler of tidbits in town. So I happen to be able to afford a grubby little room in a falling down back street townhouse. You do? And once every 6 months, I go and pay the rent to the agent on Lime Street. I remember now. There were 2 vulgar redheads in there last time.
If either of us is a vulgar, it's not me.
Think again, Peppino.
Why didn't you bring this up before?
Like I told you already. I don't like talking about my personal life. I'm a tidbit peddler as far as everyone else is concerned. No fuss.
Oh, titbit. Not tidbit. Titbit. Oh, titbit peddler.
Your testimony includes this most surprising revelation, Mr. Boone.
If I must. I'm wondering if it's a titbit all along and I've been reading tidbit.
So at least how the Scotland Yard has been looking for since the body was discovered. Has been here under our noses all along.
I read the room where that fellow was found is true for what difference it makes.
So, you live in that room presumably, do you?
Well, I don't live there. What do you think? There's no bed, is there? Just a desk.
Then, why would you want to rent it?
Well, I don't think I should have to say, really.
Then how about the notice board in there? Which is covered from top to bottom with confidential documents only the police should have access to.
No, that board's not mine. The inspector must have brought it along. It's only the other bits and bobs that belong to me, the desk and the chair, that.
People don't generally carry enormous notice boards around with them. The real question is, why was Inspector Gregson killed there in your room?
Well, obviously, I'm not the faintest idea. I mean, it's caused me no one to bother, to be honest.
Seems to me that Mr. Boone would rather as little is known about his room as possible for some reason.
Yes, it does come across that way, and more importantly, knowing that the scene of the crime is actually his room completely changes things. In particular, there's one part of his testimony that's really bothering me now. That's how I'm finally going to undo this man.
Well, alone in the world, me, I've got no kinfolk or nothing. Why to be involved in something like that?
You mean you have no family?
No, none at all. So I spend my days on Fresno Street peddling tidbits to passers-by. Hoping, just between us, this is, that eventually someone else's lips like mine will come along.
I don't think so.
You may be right.
Anyway, that marketing neck is just too much of a coincidence for us to ignore.
Well, what's follow to do then? If you don't believe me, we're at an impasse. There's nothing I can do but flick me lip.
Flick me lip.
Looks like I'm not going to get anywhere here unless I can produce some proof.
You're basically saying I got dressed up and posed as some fancy inspector, aren't you? Well, it's beyond me how you think I can do that. Just look at me, eh? Does it look like I carry off a disguise with a face like this?
Maybe you could, say, with a mustache, or a beard to cover up that lip.
Perhaps. But if I was going to stick some fake facial hair on to cover up this fine specimen, I'd end up looking like his lordship over there, wouldn't I? Pardon? I assure you my lips are entirely unremarkable. I ask you not to cast such scrutinizing looks in my direction, Counsel.
Ah, sorry, my lord. Imagination got the better of me there.
Well, Inspector Gregson did wear a mustache, of course.
Shady is who sandwich? You're right, he did, so perhaps he was hiding something himself.
You could have barely hidden a crumb in a mustache of that size.
Shady, how would Boone be sandwiched? You saw them in the same place.
Yeah, Boone is gossip.
Anyways, the detective we spoke with had no facial hair at all.
See, the cop was right. He was a cleaner shaven.
So this is beyond the realms of possibility. This witness could disguise himself as the victim. It does and it is.
I think I'm still right in that it was Daily Vigil.
That's
But
the
I
extent
think,
of the testimony, is it?
Hugh Boone is Daily Vigil.
They look nothing alike.
What's your feeling, Mr. Naruto?
Well, what Mr. Boone says is undeniable. It would be all but impossible to hide those lips with any form of disguise.
Perhaps, yes, but nevertheless, the mark around his neck is equally undeniable. And it's identical to the one that Mr. Darasi suffered.
Yes, that's true. But why does this whole disguise idea just keep playing on my mind? Okay, so what are we doing?
I think it's a statement where he says that he has no kin.
You think he has a kin?
Yeah,
Okay.
present the picture frame with
You think
Evie.
you think the picture frame is his kin?
yeah.
If you have no kinfolk, as you put it,
See, I'm paying attention.
then explain why it is that among the sparse furnishings we found this photograph in the room.
Oh, that's just a stock photo artist.
Ah! I presume, as you've been renting the room, that this photograph belongs to you, does it not?
Well,
Mr. Boone, drop the pretense, and tell the court exactly who you really are.
I don't know what you mean. I'm a peddler. I keep telling you so. You really don't need to bother with me. Please, just leave it alone.
Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, bum, bum. What is it? Is this like a slight variant on the tune? Like it sounds different.
Hmm.
Or it's just like building up to it, maybe? As the man says. Yeah, I like this one.
Maybe this is
We've
Hugh
heard this
Boone's theme.
Leave it alone. Whatever the truth is about this man's life, he has no bearing on this case.
Shady Sandwich is kind of someone disguised. Sandwich is Beppo. But I wouldn't say
Sandwich is
he's
a
a
Beppo.
disguise as much as just he dropped his name.
Because it's simply not possible that he impersonated Inspector Granson.
How can you be so sure?
Just look at the man. No one of disguise can ever hide those unmissable features.
But what if we were to look at this the other way around?
Yeah, the unmissable features are a disguise. What do you mean?
Yes, Counsel, what do you mean?
Well, there's no denying that Mr. Boone's lip is very prominent indeed. But consider the possibility that his prominent lip is itself part of an elaborate disguise. Then hiding that prominent feature, in other words, revealing his true face, would make an utterly impenetrable disguise. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Hugh Boone?
It's a little.
Good witness. Are you still hiding the truth in this court?
Oh, the music threw me off for a second.
If that's a disguise, then underneath it, his true identity must be.
Yes, that's right. There's really only one person he could really be. My lord, the defense believes it can reveal Mr. Boone's true identity to the court.
No, please, no. Very well then, Counsel. What is the true identity of this peddler who goes simply by the name of Gossip in the street? What does he go by in the sheets?
Oh, wait. Evie Vigil.
Evie Vigil?
Daily Vigil is him. It's a him.
He's gossip on the streets, but daily vigil on the streets.
Yeah.
Your real name is actually Mr. Vigil, isn't it? Mr. Daily Vigil.
Yeah. I don't recall that name, Council. Who is this Mr. Vigil?
See, I was right. I was right all along. You're like sassing me about not paying attention. I was right all
Listen,
along.
I have to sass you whether you're right or wrong because otherwise you'll tell when I'll give it away. Like,
Yeah.
gotta be consistent.
You have to be, I guess so, but I was right. I was just one step ahead of the game because I already knew that he was actually him in disguise.
Well, sometimes you need to not be a step ahead. Be on the
That
same
tends to
step.
happen a lot when I play this game. I hope our next game, that's a surprise, but I hope that our next game isn't like that.
It's a name I encountered yesterday, my lord. Has to do with a certain client, Mr. Hillock Sholmes. A young gentlewoman came to the detective asking him to locate her missing husband.
Oh, that makes sense.
What?
That he didn't show up for 24 hours and she freaked out. It's because he was locked in a room, like strung up by a collar.
I mean, that second
thought
part
I-
probably wasn't abnormal for him, but...
Yeah.
The woman in this photograph,
with
in
it-
fact. This is Mrs. Vigil. What?
With a name like Evie Vigil in the sheets. But no, I just thought that whole thing was gonna be like a weird red herring. What?
Ironically, I didn't say it, but the Peppino and Fabian, their names also were meant to be red herring
A stinky boy. I don't like it.
because the last name red and they're red herrings. They're kind of
Yeah,
not
'cause you
related
think-
to the actual murder. It's
Yeah.
we've now established. So
They also look like the flags of their respective countries.
sure,
France is blue, white, and red, and Italy's
Kazuma.
green, white, and red. I already said what?
From what I understand, you haven't returned home from the night before your inspector was found dead.
See, look at them. They're like their flags.
But of course, on that night, you're being held captive by the two red-headed League men.
And last night you were put up by the prosecution service in preparation to testify in this trial. Because we've been led to believe that you, Mr. Venus, and Mr. Sandwich were all homeless. Being important witnesses in this case, we needed to know where we could find you, of course.
And that explains why you've not only been unable to return home, but also unable to contact your wife, who's been beside herself with worry, waiting for you at the Vigil residence.
No, just hold on a moment. I don't have the first idea.
What I'm talking about? Really?
That's like the most confident thing Ryunosuke's ever said.
He's had a few. Simple enough matter to confirm my suspicions. All we have to do is pull off that disguise.
No, please. Bailiff, bring some soap, a sponge, and a washbowl at once. Mr. DeRosa and Mr. DeRossi, you will restrain the witness.
Is that illegal?
Oui, my lord.
See, my lord.
What? No! Stop! Get off! Don't!
Also, I don't know if that's like weirdly compliant of people accused.
Maybe they just really like restraining people.
I mean,
Especially
yeah,
Fabian.
clearly. Yeah.
He's like, yes, a chance to legally restrain somebody?
No, I say no more.